Hello everyone. In this video I will talk about the long exposure photography. The long exposure photography involves low shutter speed. The shutter speed is the length of time where the sensor is exposed to the light. Imagine if we have to photograph someone is walking at the beach. We will set the shutter speed on 1 to 50 of seconds. If we have to photograph a dog is playing or running, we will increase the shutter speed to 1 of 1000 of seconds. A faster shutter speed will help us to freeze the subject and get a sharp image. The long exposure photography is the opposite. We need a low shutter speed, from 1 second, 3 seconds, or 10 seconds or more. But first we need a tripod, as the camera must be still. And if we go to do long exposure during the day, we need a ND filter. This is a variable ND filter, 9 stops, 67 millimeters of diameter to fit the lens of the Nikon P900, but you can also find different sizes for different lenses. The ND filter will help us to avoid any overexposed photographs. Now let's see how to set the camera and a few examples of long exposure photographs. This is how the ND filter works. By rotating the filter we can adjust the exposure. I took the first photograph in full auto mode to help you to understand better the difference between a regular photograph and a long exposure photograph. To do long exposure photography, we need to set the camera on manual mode, as we need to control the shutter speed. I kept the ISO on 100, as I don't need more light in the sensor, and I close the diaphragm as much as possible. With the P900 we can only choose f8, but there are other cameras and lenses that allow you to close the diaphragm more, like f16, 18, 22 and more. In this one I set the shutter speed on 1/40 of a second and the next one 1/20 of seconds. Without the ND filter, the result is an overexposed image. I put the ND filter on and start to play with the shutter speed. In this one I set the shutter speed on 1/6 of seconds, then half second, 1 second, and we can start to see the fountain and the water smooth, and the last one is 3 seconds. And then a few more examples of long exposure photography. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and once again guys, like it and subscribe to support my channel. Thank you everyone.